As the title, you can see this is my install of my lace closure that I purchased from California Lace Wigs. That's the finished product, and here is the packaging. It came pretty quickly, and I'll try to annotate somewhere how soon it did come, but this is how it came packaged up. I think they did an excellent job. They have the business card attached, a full thing for me to read about the hair. Also, the return policy is in there. There's the card again. Here is the care packaging instructions from them. Very professional. Here is my piece, and this is how it came packaged up. Here is it out of the package with the net still on it. Just another photo of that. Here you can see how the knots are bleached halfway. I'll talk about that later. And that's just a close-up of the hair. So to get started, I pretty much just, cut the lace down. Nothing special or fancy about that. The other hair that I will be attaching is not California Lace Wig hair. It is some wet and wavy hair that I had previously. And I also threw some, the, dang, what's the name of the hair? The last video, I'll notate it somewhere. Can't think of it right now. But basically what I did, you saw my sewing pattern, my braiding pattern, and I'm just going to sew my wig, my piece, I'm sorry, to either side of the part that I already have naturally. You can also use fabric like some people do. That way you don't have to place the wig in a particular spot. But I just chose to use my natural part as, the part that I want to be visible. And you'll see later again that, you can see where it's bleached from the company. But I will do a video when I bleach the whole thing. I just didn't have time to do it this first time. So basically I am just using a regular needle and thread. I'm not using anything so hair needle and hair thread. Nothing special about that. And I'm just sewing to each of my braids on the outer edge of the closure piece. So that's just me showing you how I do that. Again, it's nothing, really fancy, just making sure you have the hair positioned exactly where you want it. Again, if you decide to use to make it like a silk top closure and put the fabric underneath, you don't have to, you don't have to be as careful about positioning. So I'm gonna flip it over and sew the other side, and there you can kind of see how it's showing through so far. And I'm just gonna make sure that I stretch the wig, or the piece, I'm sorry, I keep saying wig, but I stretch it so that there's not, bulk in the middle and it doesn't fold up. So I'm just stretching it as tight as I can across to the other side where my braids are, and I'm just going to repeat the same process, making sure I leave enough room at the front so that I can cover my first braid. And you'll see how I do that in just a second. I did have a few problems trying to get this exactly how I wanted it because, well, you'll see it coming up. I won't elaborate. So yeah, I'm just sewing that straight back on the other side. I wouldn't suggest taking your, taking one piece of thread and sewing it all the way around. I would restart a new needle on the other side just to make sure that it's positioned correctly. And I'm just going to tie that in a knot here. All right, so I have it all positioned. I think I'm going to step away or turn off you see, this is where I had a few problems at, but we're going to work that out. So I stepped away, and what I did was I added the rest of my hair once I had the closure positioned so that I can, know where I am as far as if I needed to add more hair. So I went ahead and added my Milky Way Indian wet and wavy hair where the, where the closure left off. So here I'm going to do a small little stitch just in one spot. I was a little leery because I didn't want to sew through the lace because I don't want to tear the lace up for when I get ready to reposition it. But I couldn't just leave that, flapping. So I just made one little stitch and I started on underneath, like I, made sure that my knots were underneath the closure. And I am making some ugly faces, child. So I just literally like went around the braid and through the lace like twice just to hold that in position. And I think it did okay. It didn't do as well as I wanted it to do. And what I'm explaining is if my braids had been, closer to my hairline, then I probably wouldn't have had as many problems. But since my braids kind of start a little further back on my hairline, I had to pull the corners of the lace to meet the first braid on both sides. So I hope that's, that makes sense. But I kind of had to pull those corners back so that it's tight. So I'm just still making, that I was about to say incision, that little stitch right there, and then I'm going to tie a knot and make sure that the knot is underneath the lace so that it's not visible. And the way that I ended up wearing the hair, you cannot see the knot at all. If I were to part it in a different section, I don't know, but it's just going to take me a little practice to, get it positioned exactly how I want it, because I don't want to use glue at all. So I just kind of tucked that little piece that I stitched up under there, or that I tied in a knot up under. And you really can't see it. So I'm trying to pull some hair out that's not there. So, but next time I'll leave some out intentionally just to kind of cover that little front piece. And that is pretty much it. That bleach, the way that it's bleached, it does, to me, it doesn't look really natural and it doesn't really go. But you can see here where the bleach stopped, where they stopped. How they bleached it just halfway. So when I redo it, hopefully, I'll be able to part it further back and it blends well. So this hair is huge. I'm going to tame it down for you guys using just water. And I've had it in for a couple of days while I'm, editing this video. And when I get in the shower, I just wet it and go. I use Eco Styler gel for the very top because that's, the closure is virgin, but the rest of my hair is not virgin. It's beauty supply store. So I just use the Eco Styler gel on top to tame it down. And the pictures that you saw in the beginning and that you'll see at the end will actually, show you how it looks tamed down. So that's how it looks, guys. Let me know how I did. It's my first time trying this, so hope that you guys, learned a little bit of something. And as I perfect my method in doing it, then I'll definitely keep you guys updated. And I hope that you all enjoyed this video. This is, again, just water that I'm using right now. So here's the finished look. I think it actually did pretty well. Again, I wish there were more parting space as far as the lace being, or the knots being bleached, but we'll fix that in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop your questions below and talk to you later.